Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or you're just happy to see me?
Hello, everyone, for another week of Talk Nerdy to Us. And as you can see, Steph is not with us tonight. I'm not going to I can't reveal exactly all details because I don't know them. But the reason why she's not here is if you follow her on Twitter, you know that one of her dogs ran away several days ago. So she's been basically worried about him ever since I think about Tuesday. But good news, someone found her dog. And I'm assuming that nothing's wrong necessarily with Georgie, which is the dog's name, and but Steph did mention that she might have to take him to a pet hospital. I'm assuming just to get checked over because he's been gone for several days. So it's a situation where just to make sure he didn't exactly ingest anything that or anything that could harm him or anything like that. So that's the reason why she's not here. I sent her the link in case she is able to hop on at some point during the stream. But in the meantime, Stieg Kenobi has graciously filled in for Steph. So basically, you'll have to objectify him instead of her this evening. So thank you so much again, Stieg, for joining me.
Oh,
pop culture news.
Happy to help. I'll do my best to try and make Stephanie proud.
Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure you will. And so we'll be talking basically a few topics tonight. One of them is apparently Nickelodeon is pulling 2 episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants. And yes, it is a cartoon about a talking sea sponge. Kids cartoon about talking sea sponge whose best friend is a dumb as hell starfish named Patrick, and a squirrel in a deep diver suit named Sandy, I believe, and works in an underground diner run by a crab, like Mr. Crab, and his manager is a crotchety squid named Squidward. So it's but there are 2 episodes. He said that Nickelodeon's pulling for various reasons, or so. Oh my God! Sorry, I just read the private chat, folks. So I'm not going to touch on that. But I'm going to say hello to the chat, and then we'll get into the SpongeBob discussion, as well as the Suicide Squad Red Band trailer. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a copyright claim if I'm playing the trailer, but I don't care because I don't monetize the stream after it's played. I unlist it, and I go along my merry way. But I'll play the trailer, as well as an article I found on CBR that looks like Suicide Squad, in a way, is going to tie into Birds of Prey based on Harley Quinn's rap sheet, and you'll see it whenever I pull up the article. And if we have any time, I'm not exactly going to go into a deep discussion at all about the 6 Days in Fallujah game. If you want to know my thoughts on the situation as it stands with that game, you can watch my latest video where I rant for about 25 minutes on a Kotaku article that if I could, I would have reached through the screen and given the author an atomic wedgie. That's how mad I was feeling at that point. That's the least extreme thing I would have done. Most extreme thing I would have done would be to punch him in the nuts. But then again, no real man would have written that article, so I don't think he has any. But there it is. So if I talk about that, it'll be the petition that was going around.
He'd probably pay you to punch him in his nuts.
I mean, he probably would. That's probably the most interaction he would ever get from a woman. So he'd willingly probably shell out his life savings to me at that point. So I'd happily oblige. But if I do talk about it, it'll be the petition that was going around by, of all people, a lead game designer on Gotham Knights. Basically, you had a game that most people were anticipating, and then you have a game designer who I granted I know does not speak for the entirety of Warner Brothers Montreal games, but at the same time, it's well, my money could be spent elsewhere if this is what you're going to be doing. If you're going to try to cancel a game based on around a narrative, I'll spend my money elsewhere. I mean, I'll hold off until the Suicide Squad game comes out. I don't care at this point. But it's a shame because, like I said, I was looking forward to the Gotham Knights game. So, but it is what it is at this point. So I'm going to say hello to the chat, and we'll go into the SpongeBob discussion. So I know there are comments before Apollo Patriots comment, but my internet, the signal conked out on me. When it did that, it screwed up the chat on YouTube and on StreamYard. I know Ms. Martin Muses has a comment before this, as well as other people have comments before Apollo Patriots, but I'm sorry I cannot see it. But I do acknowledge that there are ones before Apollo's. But anyway, good evening, Apollo. Thank you for stopping by. And I'm pretty sure if we get to the 6 Days in Fallujah topic, you'll most likely want be chiming in because I know that's the game you're looking forward to. Slash and Burn Theory, hey Mara. So I saw something earlier about a Transformer movie being developed by Paramount that's outside the Bay universe. I did see that. I did not exactly read the article, but my feelings on it thus far is it can't get any worse. I mean, look at the bar that's set with Michael Bay's Transformers. So that's what I can say about that topic. And Ms. Martin Muses, good evening. Black Samurai, como estas? Stopping by. Sunny and Brave Megatron. Sadly, I can't crazy sexy ladies. Well, I'm going to include Stig here in this comment. With my fat titties tonight, but I shall always be with you in spirit. Thank you so much, Sunny and Brave Megatron. Always a pleasure to see you. Russian bot General Mosley. I wonder if I hide behind something I might survive. I don't know. Epstein's ghost. Let's start the show, and hope you all enjoy it. It's not a lot of exactly topics to. I'm not saying not a lot of topics to talk about, but I was trying to find ones that at least weren't covered on other streams for the most part. So we'll try to be a little bit different. Trey Courtney, hey Mara, the Suicide Squad trailer was okay, but it just felt like an R-rated Guardians movie. That I will agree with. I was getting based on just the back and forths alone, I was getting just a Guardians of the Galaxy comedy vibe, but basically just rated R humor in a way that really did not exactly land for the most part. I don't know what it was. I'm not going to exactly judge until I see another trailer, because this is the first official trailer and I'll show it on the stream a little bit later. But I'm looking at this going, I mean, at this point, I'd almost rather them release David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad just compared to the theatrical release than this movie. I'm honestly not really looking forward to it, or at least not as much as I was based on the trailer. David Blair, hello. Lady Tariel, good evening. David Meyer, no downvote, something is wrong. Well, give it time. Slade Raider, hey, good evening. Tim F, good evening. Phil Team and T, oh snap, it's the Queen. Thank you so much. Hey Mara, the new stuff isn't as beautiful as the old version. LOL, hey Stieg. So I mean,
well, he's not wrong.
No, not really wrong at all. And like I said, she might join depending on her situation. So yes, I'm hoping Georgie is okay too. But like she said, she didn't give me details. But I'm assuming that if she knew of anything that did happen to him, she would have told me. All she mentioned was taking him to a basically a vet. I'm assuming just to get looked over because he has been gone for several days. Yes, SpongeBob. Pulling 2 SpongeBob episodes, and you'll see which ones they are in a little bit. Alex McCarthy, howdy, Smar and Stieg, how's it going? King Shark is a shark. Yes, King. That's probably the only thing in that trailer that I at all, I don't want to say found enjoyment in, but liked. And that was the scenes of the King Shark, because they did not shy away from the fact that, yes, King Shark is not exactly articulate. So there's a little bit of humor there on his end, but at the same time, he eats people. Pretty much like Killer Croc. He eats people.
He should be a part of the Justice League.
There you go. There's the pun master. Commonplace. Did the dog happen to have a red balloon by any chance? Get that reference?
That's
like Captain America. I understood that reference. So no, he did not have a red balloon. But thank you, Commonplace.
They shouldn't be hounding Steph like that.
Corey Cochran, hi all, good to see you. Yes, we're so glad that he's been found. I'm hoping just okay, maybe a little bit unnerved because of his situation, but hopefully he doesn't get out again. A common idiot. This is the first time I'm seeing you in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Hail chat. Good evening. Mark Jacobs. Hello. Rhetorical thrill. My stepsister's kids watched that dumb show 20 years ago, and I thought it was stupid as hell. Do not understand how it's been on TV for so long. I'm kind of with you. I mean, I don't know. I've seen worse. I've seen worse cartoons, but at the same time, it's like I also never really got into it because it was kind of. I don't want to say after my time, but I was beyond the initial demographic they were aiming for. So that is my siblings' kind of era of television. So, sorry, Chad jumped on me. I want to make sure that I catch most people's comments. We'll see. You'll see, Dread Punk Gauge. You'll see what SpongeBob did, and like, oh, the horror. I should have put my pearls on for this one. Galford's dog. How's it going, ladies? Whoops, I mean lady and foreign guy. Thank you so much, Galford's dog. Orange Hat Reviews. Suicide Squad trailer was not that good in my opinion. King Shark was done better in the CW. This one looks plain dumb, and I'm a huge fan of the actor voicing him. Agreed. Like I said, he was probably the best part in the trailer. I'm not saying that necessarily that he was like perfect, but looking at everything that happened in the trailer, I was like, that's the movie. But we'll see. We'll see. Because sometimes a trailer can suck and the movie could be great. So we'll see.
You know, that shark fellow, he looked way better on was it Arrow he was on?
Mm-hmm.
He looked way better on that one. This looks like dated CGI.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I never watched Arrow, so I'm going by yours and Orange Hat's comments. So I have no way to compare it, pretty much. Let's put it that way. Come back, Steph. Don't become a horrible meme. No, she won't. She'll be back. She'll be back. Michael fucking Bay, Turtles from an Alien Race. Pretty much. Like I said, the Transformers movie, I caught the headline. Did not read the article, but the fact that the bar is set so low with the movies, that I could only hope that they could only go up. Rhetorical Thrill says, I really liked Guardians, so honestly, I don't mind. There it is. I mean, I enjoyed Guardians for what it was. It wasn't exactly my brand of humor, but if you liked it, fine. More power to you. I'm not passing final judgment really until I see more with the Suicide Squad movie, because all we have is a trailer. One trailer right now, so I need to see maybe another teaser or another trailer, and I'll make up my mind, pretty much. Sogi01, Seth has been replaced by Stig Kenobi. Not replaced. He's stepping in like the good friend he is, and going to give his opinion on these topics. Lord Nemesis. Happy dugout. What? Hey.
My opinions do not reflect the opinions of Stephanie. Let it be known.
That's the disclaimer, folks.
Actually, yes, they do. So if I say something messed up, blame Stephanie. It's done in her name.
Oh, God. Dead Punk Gauge. It plays a lot like 2016 Suicide Squad trailer, only with Starro. And we know what happened in the Suicide Squad movie and with the trailer, pretty much how they massacred it, but not going to go into that too much detail. Phil TMNT, Mara took the science test on Tuesday and I passed it. Good job, Phil. Science was never really my thing. I mean, I did well on it, but I was always more of a history or English and history subjects. Those are my thing. And a $50 super chat from Nico Glock. Thank you so much. Hi, Mara with the heart. Thank you so much, Nico. Let me see if I have a this will make it seem like I'm kind of full of myself, but this is one of the thank you clips I have.
Thank you. You love me. You really love
me. So there's one of the thank you clips I have. So thank you so much for that. Nico Glock. I'm making sure I say hello to everyone. Paul Patriot, Slade, Dead Punk, Aiken. Not being a comic book reader, I'll reserve judgment for Suicide Squad 2. I know, yeah. I mean, I know like enough about Suicide Squad. I don't know necessarily a whole lot, but like I like you, I'm reserving judgment until I see another trailer. Pretty much. Uh, he says he was in the Flash. I said, I never really watched the CW shows. Pretty much because my experience with them is they always start out either good or at least reasonably good, and then they basically go to crap. With the exception of Batwoman, which started out as crap. So, Trey Courtney, Rob Zombie is directing a Monsters movie. I don't know why. Well, I'm not a fan of his Halloween. I'm not a fan of his Halloween, and I don't know exactly what spin he's going to put on the Monsters, because that's a show I used to watch, and that's a show that does not need Rob Zombie's touch at all. Nothing against Rob Zombie, but he should not be touching the Monsters. Lord Vader, I think I missed your earlier comments. Good evening. I think I said hello to everyone so far in the chat. Okay. Fellow team, whenever I graduate and get an actual job, I would love to meet me in real life. She's one of my favorite content creators. Thank you so much. And one of my favorite people in general. I sometimes simp over LOL, but still, thank you so much, fellow team. Like, who knows? Maybe at some point there'll be like big get-togethers with not just like YouTube content creators, but people, content creators, people who enjoy our content. I know there's a big gathering planned for August in Vegas. I don't know necessarily it's a Fandom Menace gathering or not. I'm probably not going to be attending. So I don't know where my situation is going to be in August, but something like that happening in August, and probably will happen again either before or after that. Tim, I kind of don't feel bad about bailing on Lethal's Batwoman live streams after one episode. Yeah, you really were not missing much. Oh my god. It got to a point where I was like, okay, this is like the identity of politics were just too on the nose. Like almost blatantly coming out and saying that, like the episode where this guy's looking for I'm assuming his daughter or niece or whatever, and she happens to be white, but in God, I can't remember what her last name. Ryan, Ryan Wilder, is that where I don't care. Anyway, her impression was, they don't care about me because I'm black. They only look for white girls. I'm like, oh my fucking god.
Oh, that happened in Falcon and the Winter Soldier too.
Oh, goody.
Yeah,
goody.
They had it wasn't that on the nose, but
Mm-hmm.
it still was on the nose.
Yeah. So there it is. But I think I said hello to everyone in the chat. And Teresa, I see you again. Hi all. You should have a wrench. I want to check that. Yes, you do have a wrench. I wrenched Teresa, so don't piss her off. She now has the power to time people out. So make sure that you follow what she says. But
yeah, a woman with tools. What could possibly go wrong?
Hey, people trusted me enough to give me a wrench on their live streams, and it's good having power. But hopefully someone's shooting off fireworks. I don't think you can hear it, but if it gets a little loud, that's the noise that you're hearing right now. So there it is. But anyway, let me share the Bounding into Comics article about SpongeBob. I was looking through the site and I saw this and I was like, that's stupid. So I'm like really? SpongeBob? I'm looking at this and I'm thinking back on like the episodes I did see, and while I was never a fan of them, I never saw anything in them that would at all make any like Nickelodeon or anyone pull them because of inappropriate and quarantine related content. That's the title. Inappropriate. I mean, I don't know if did you ever watch the show, Steve? I'm not sure if exactly made its way over to where you live.
Well, I think it's on a couple of channels, but I never watched it because I didn't like the art style.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, there's some adults somewhere that still watches SpongeBob, and they're offended by it.
Yeah, And as a common idiot pointed out, these are old episodes. They're going through the litany of episodes. This show has been around for a long time. So they're going through all the episodes and picking out ones that aired way back, and now they're calling it inappropriate and quarantine-related content, which... Okay, I'm going to get into the article, and you'll see the stupidity pretty. Define inappropriate. You'll see what it's inappropriate. You'll see what's inappropriate. Yeah, quarantine from... Yeah, you'll see. Chuck Finley, their brains are set to Wumbo, pretty much. SpongeBob is about to get Ren and Stimpy'd. That's a show I did watch. A show I watch, because that's kind of my generation. And yeah, I'm so glad I grew up when I did, because this is just insane. Michael Brent, I can't believe that SpongeBob is getting censored this year. Has been around since the 90s, alongside Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball. Sailor Moon is a show I got into. Dragon Ball, not so much. But yes, pretty much. There's a Thomas Gilkey. Hail, good to see you, Thomas. Hope you're having a good evening. Movie Metal Rock McDonald. There's an explosive episode where SpongeBob is watching porn. Okay, there's an episode where he's watching porn. But there it is. Biggles, yes. Steph does look like Stiggy again, but hopefully Steph will be able to join us. And since you're coming in a little bit late, I'll just quickly reiterate what I said earlier in the stream, and that is, Steph found her dog Georgie. Someone found her dog Georgie, who ran away several days ago. So she's going to take him to a vet to get looked over to make sure that nothing is wrong with him. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he is good and does not get out of the backyard again. Pretty much. Yes, I was into the friendship content. Yes, Sogi. But there it is. So here, let's get into this article. So, all right, SpongeBob SquarePants, basically a cartoon about a talking sponge, has become the latest media property to fall victim to censorship, as 2 episodes of the beloved children's series have been pulled for inappropriate and quarantine-related content, respectively. As of March 27th, both the Season 3 episode Midlife Crustacean and the Season 12 episode Quarantined Crab have been removed from Paramount Plus and Amazon Prime. During the writing of this article, the episodes were also pulled from YouTube TV. All right? So what could be so offensive about this? All right? This is what's offensive. And Ms. Marmusa says there's not going to be anything left. No, there isn't. Yeah, and 19K Fox, thank you for stopping by. Those are the 2 best episodes. Of course, they pull like the 2 best episodes as offensive. But here it is. According to Nickelodeon spokesperson who spoke to IGN, Midlife Crustacean has been out of rotation since 2018 following a standards review. That should be in quotes, standards review, in which we determined some story elements were not kid appropriate. When asked which specific story element was not kid appropriate, the spokesperson offered no comment. However, it's been assumed that the story element in question was the episode's panty raid, which saw SpongeBob, Patrick, and Mr. Crab, embark on a panty raid in order to help Mr. Krabs, snap out of his midlife crisis, only for the trio to discover that they had accidentally raided the underwear drawer of Mr. Krabs' mother. So basically, a panty raid is inappropriate. So, hey, Raging Rhino, good to see you. Hey, Keely, good to see you too. Yeah. So, Keely, what did you miss? Well, 2 episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants are getting pulled from Nickelodeon for inappropriate content and quarantine-related humor, pretty much. Because we have to be sensitive nowadays. So there it is. That's the first episode. So basically, I don't know. I mean, just about every teen comedy I remember watching had a similar situation. Like panty raid. Who cares?
Yeah, and remember Porky's?
Yeah, like who cares?
They were spying on the girls' dressing rooms. In the shower.
Yeah. So, like, do you have to necessarily like it? No, but to play nanny state and pull it with and not let maybe the consumer judge whether or not they're going to, let's say, a parent to let his or her child watch the episode. You're acting as the parent. Let the parents be the parent in this case. If they don't like it, they won't let their kids watch it, but they're taking on that parental role for them.
I think it's a bunch of narcissists wanting to be in charge of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what it
Frankenstein, I
is.
guess you'll miss the panty rate. $4.99 super chat from K19 19K Fox. I can't read tonight. Thank you so much. Seasons 1 through 3 of SpongeBob are hilarious, like Cara Dune Black Series figures. Those DVDs will skyrocket in value. That's what they're setting up. Basically, that's what they're setting up right now. That, like, basically they're going to skyrocket the value of people who already have the DVDs because they're doing this shit. It's like the exact opposite will happen from what they're intending to happen. They intend, what they want to happen is that people will just roll over and accept it, and people are going to be looking at this going, no, there's nothing wrong with these episodes, or at least let us be the judge of whether or not these are inappropriate or not. And they won't do that. They were in a drawer. Yes, as long as they were in a drawer and not being worn. They're in a drawer, basically. Yes. Don't forget pirating. They're setting it up for that as well. And he just brought this up. Yes, look. Revenge of the Nerds. And like basically, we're at a stage now, and I hope to God this doesn't happen, but we're at a stage now where these people, these perpetually triggered, sticks up their asses people, are going to be combing through every movie, starting with, I'd say the earliest they probably start with is terms of offensive content. No, actually, no, take that back. They can go all the way fucking back to when the advent of Hollywood, the golden age of Hollywood. I'm sure they can find something offensive in there. I'm sure they can find something offensive there. Just comb through the archives and find every classic movie that came out, Oscar winner or not, and find something offensive in there.
Oh yeah, and
I'm pretty sure they will do that.
every Western, right?
Western. I brought this up when I was talking about Disney censoring in a way that their classic cartoons like Peter Pan and so forth for like culturally inappropriate humor or representation or like whatever wording they used. And I'm like, well, I grew up on classic Hollywood films. I grew up on films where there were elements in those films where I did not agree with, I did not like, and it still stems from classic Hollywood to this day of how Black people and Asian people were depicted in films. And there's still elements to that, just like, reversed in a way. And I'll explain that as I continue. In the classic movies, more often than not, Blacks in particular were depicted in servitude roles. And I did not agree with that at all. Because they continually displayed that they were just as good of actors as their white, in a sense, counterparts, pretty much. That they could hold their own against like anyone in the system, pretty much the studio system. But they were up to servitude roles like butlers, maids, chauffeurs, basically literally like servant second bananas to whatever the main character was. One example is Eddie Rochester Anderson, who was typically like had very good comedic timing, but he was more or less like a chauffeur to I hate this site. Like a chauffeur and like in one regard, manservant in another, things like that. So and then fast forward to today, there's like still elements of racism in Hollywood, but now they judge you in a way based on your skin color to include forced diversity. So it's like, I don't know. It's just Hollywood hasn't changed. Like,
they've reduced the roles that colored people play from being supporting characters to props.
Yeah. So like in a sense, putting it that way, got worse. Yes, he was good on the Jack Benny show. He had very good comedic timing, very good, and he was very funny, but never got past a supporting role, and it was more or less like a servant, maids, chauffeurs, butler, like what have you, basically. And Asians, in a way, I don't want to say they necessarily had it worse, but in a way they did, because for a while, during certain stretches in Hollywood, they were depicted as the villains. And like a lot of it was propaganda-based films, especially during World War II and so forth. That's not to minimize the actual genuine atrocities the Japanese were committing against servicemen in the Pacific, but at the same time, it's like, well, okay, not every person of the Asian demographic is a villain. Like, you don't need to necessarily show them as a villain, or they were kind of or they were also in servant roles as well. So it's like they never really, except for like maybe one or two instances, never broke free of the supporting characters role. They were always reduced to. And now, like you said, they've been reduced from those supporting characters to just props. Like, here, I'm going to put an Asian character here because of diversity. Boom. That's it. So, like, really, in a way, Hollywood has not changed in that regard. Yeah, or depicted by, like, Peter Sellers and Mickey Rooney at times, or by Sidney Toler as Charlie Chan. Sidney Toler himself is not Asian, but his children were played by Asian actors. So there it is. But yeah, so we're gonna move on to this article. But did you want to say something else to that, Steve?
No, it's just it's embarrassing, I mean, look at what happened to Finn in the sequel movies. He was there to be black. That's it. They completely. Well, they didn't even care about his character. Only 90% of his lines were him screaming Ray.
Yeah. Yep. And yes, Charlie Chan movies will soon be gone because they'll find, again, Sidney Toler and Warner Oland, who played Charlie Chan first, not Asian actors. But moving on in this article, the other episode, Quarantined Crab, was pulled out of sensitivity for the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. As the representative explained, the Quarantined Crab centers on a virus storyline, so we have decided to not air it due to sensitivity surrounding the global real-world pandemic. It's a fucking episode called Clam Flu. At the Krusty Krab, a health inspector quarantines his staff and patrons inside the restaurant. I'm like, really?
It's brain dead. Someone got offended about this, and someone else thought they had the right of it.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
Stupid times two.
Yeah. Pretty much. So as time progresses, the quarantined begin to become paranoid and distrustful, eventually taking turns, I guess, turning on anyone they believe to have the flu and locking them away in the restaurant's freezer. At the end of the episode, it's discovered that though the outbreak of clam flu was a false alarm, the patrons have actually become sick as a result of their time in the freezer, leading to the entire restaurant to be ultra mega quarantined. So basically, it's lampooning overreactions.
It's prophecy
to these situations.
It's literal prophecy of what's going on now.
It pretty much is. It pretty much is, because if you read any articles about it, they're saying that they've actually harmed us more than helped in a way, because what we develop when we're around people is herd immunity. And by sequestering us, forcing us to stay in our homes, has hurt more than helped. So they'll go after Christopher Lee for playing Fu Manchu. Yeah. I mean, like literally, you can go back any point in Hollywood's history and find something to be triggered over. But normal people will watch the movies for what they are. they don't exactly agree with every depiction in them, but they'll watch them for what they are. The SJWs will watch them and go through the lens of whatever social narrative they're running with. So, but like you said, this is like eerily prophetic.
And one of Christopher Lee's best acting performances was when he played, I think it was called Muhammad Jinnah, the guy who founded Pakistan.
Oh yeah, he was in that. It was in the. Was it the?
Yeah, it was. It was a movie that wasn't shown anywhere because people were.
Yeah.
It was political. You're not supposed to see it.
Yeah.
But he was hailed all over the place in Pakistan for his portrayal. But people in America don't like it because that's offensive to them.
Yeah, it's you ever notice it's always a white person who's feeling offended on behalf of the minority who, if you were to ask them, really does not give a shit half the time.
Yeah, and then when they move on, the ones who are left looking stupid are the minorities that they complained on behalf of.
Yeah. At this point, you can't talk about anything because someone will be offended and you'll get canceled. Pretty much. There's so many movies about some plagues. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's lampooning. Eerily prophetic, but it's lampooning the overreaction. Like, us as a species will have at times. That's what it's poking fun of. But now we have to be sensitive to what's going on now, even though this episode aired several years ago. And I don't know. So as of writing, it is unknown whether either episode will ever see release again. What do you make of Nickelodeon's removal of these two SpongeBob episodes? So what do you make of it? I'm not sure who is running the Geeks and Gamers chat in my chat, but thank you so much for stopping by. And oops, wrong account. So get in the right account. Someone needs coffee. So there it is. I think I know who it is, but we'll see.
Probably Lethal.
Yeah. So, yep, Lethal Lightning. It's me. So he's in the.
Yeah, because it's morning in Australia. See how I deduce that.
So what do you think of this? Is 14 and a half hours still ahead of me? So actually it'd be more like afternoon for him now. So, but what do you think of what do you think of what do you think of the situation? I'll just stop staring at the screen because it's
the situation is retarded. There's no other way to put it.
It pretty much is. Like I said, I never really watched the show. It was not exactly. I mean, when did it air? Like early '90s. So about. I don't want to say how long ago it was and get a gauge of my age, but I never really got into the humor. Never really got 1999. Okay, so I was kind of past the age demographic. Yes, Judgy Mara. I was kind of past the age demographic that would have started watching the show. But like I said, my siblings watched it and they loved it. So I would catch episodes here and there, and sometimes I would get basically a laugh out of it. Sometimes I would be look at it and going, "This is kind of the stupidest thing I've ever watched." But it nothing ever stood out to me at all that there would be anything that would at all mean you mean that it would get censored. I don't know. I saw that article and I was I was going to ask Steph this because I think of us two, she would have been the one to go into that. But
yeah, they're gonna go after South Park eventually, and
this is the generation that grew up on South Park. Think about that. This is the generation that grew up on South Park who are now offended by everything. Relative. No, I'm saying grew up with. Let's put it this way: grew up with. They're not exactly. They haven't themselves. Growing up, I want to say real fast. Thank you for becoming a member, John Parson, to my channel. Now I'm saying like grew up as in maturity wise, but I'm saying grew up with. Like these are the people that watched South Park who are now offended by every fucking thing.
Yeah.
And hello, Cue Ball. Thank you for stopping by. Good evening. Think about that. Think about it. Look at South Park, and then look at these people.
Yeah, they're. I think it's a case of mental illness. That's mentally ill people have been given a megaphone through social media, basically, and that's making a lot of noise. And the adults are being bad parents because they're letting the tantrums. Well, they're giving into the tantrums, basically.
Mm-hmm. And there's another one that's going to go under the scrutiny here in short order. Now that they're going after SpongeBob, Beavis and Butthead.
Oh yeah,
Beavis and Butthead. Another show I loved. I'm sorry. I just cannot wrap my head around this. Hold on. Willie Woodward, good evening. Hail, Jade Shadow, Steeg, Ms. Martin Muses, Lethal Lightning, Dimash Knight, and the rest of the Chad. Good evening, Willie. Bizarre Star. They'll try to go after South Park, but I think Matt and Trey won't have it. They won't have it, but that's not going to stop these people from trying. Q-Ball, what did you miss? Well, I'll bring up the article real fast, and you'll see what we just finished covering. But this is what I want to say to these people every time something like shit like this happens.
Lighten up, Francis.
Pretty much, lighten up. Lighten up. Nothing. Here it is. I'm just going to share it real fast again. Q-Ball, so you can see just real fast. Here it is. Scroll back up. Apparently, real fast, not going to go into the article again, but Nickelodeon is pulling 2 episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants from streaming because of inappropriate and quarantine-related content. What is the inappropriate content? Well, that's the inappropriate content is when SpongeBob, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs go on a panty raid and end up accidentally raiding the panties of Mr. Krabs' mom. And then the quarantine-related content is, well, what it is. Like the episode where they had to be quarantined in the diner because of a health inspector false alarm, believing that like a clam flu broke out there. So yes, that is what we just finished covering. Johnny Bravo will probably be next of getting canceled. Another show. Courage the Cowardly Dog will probably get targeted again. Or not again, but as well. I mean, I can go through all the cartoons that I grew up on, and I'm pretty sure they'll find something to be offended over, even in fucking Tailspin, DuckTales, Chippendales, Rescue Rangers, Rainbow Bright. They'll probably get triggered over that because it's a rainbow, and that's offensive to Pride Month. They'll find something. They pulled WWE content when moving to Peacock. Of course. An entire match from WrestleMania. Of course. Black Superwoman. Buy physical copies because everything will be canceled or changed. Pretty much. And so, like someone said earlier in the chat, anyone who has those physical copies now, it's going to be like the Cara Dune Black Series figures. Pretty much. It's going to go up in value. Pretty much. Because you can't find them. You won't be able to find them anywhere because they'll find some way to not carry them in stores. So get them while you can right now. Now, commonplace. Also, Mara, this is my generation that's offended by everything, and it baffles me because we grew up with South Park. And South Park thought everybody was fair game, and I loved it. Yes. Everybody was fair game. Everybody was fair game on there. I grew up raised Lutheran. I not going into details, I'm kind of against organized religion right now because of what happened with my church, or at least it's a clergy aspect to it. But I still consider myself a Christian, and they were lampooned left and right on that show. I don't care.
Yeah, everyone gets it,
So that's what we covered. Cue Ball, and we'll be going into now, at least talking about. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the Suicide Squad trailer and then we'll go into the article I found. That apparently makes it look like the Suicide Squad movie will, in a way, tie into Birds of Prey, and I'll get into that after I show the trailer. So, and then you said you saw the trailer, right, Steve?
No, I didn't
Oh, you
see
didn't?
it.
Okay.
I just saw a clip of the shark.
Okay. Well, I'll share the screen. So I'm going to do this through Twitter. But first, I'm actually going to stop sharing the screen because I did not click share audio, which I hate with StreamYard, because why don't you automatically just share the audio? Here it is. Okay. So here's the Red Band trailer, folks. I think you're hearing Steeg's chair creak, not mine. I do need a new chair, though, but that's not my chair.
It's the sound Mara makes when she's thinking.
I can mute you, you know. So here it is, folks. Here it is. I'm going to mute myself because I don't know if there's going to be any echo or not, but here it is.
You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a court jester.
It's coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat on his head. We don't leave one of our own behind.
Hopefully Harley's still alive.
No funny business, Colonel. These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire. 3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
What?
We're here to save you.
You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's patronizing.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Blood sport.
You know the deal. Successfully complete the mission, you get 10 years off your sentence.
Times are hard.
You fail to follow my orders in any way, and I detonate the explosive device in the base of your skull.
Can do the job for free.
So this is the famous Suicide Squad.
Num num.
Any questions?
And
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
we're all gonna die.
I hope so.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Here's the deal. We fail the mission, you die.
If we find out any information you give us is false, you die.
If we find out you have personalized license plates, you die.
What? No.
If you cough without covering your mouth.
Harley, although that isn't an open invitation for you to cough without covering your mouth.
What's the plan?
How the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
Why would someone put penises all over the beach?
Who knows why madmen do what they do?
This is suicide.
Well, that's kind of our thing.
Don't you worry, eh? I'm gonna get you out of here alive.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
Oh my god! We've got a freaking kaiju up in this shit!
I don't wanna do your
We love the rain. It's like angels are splooching all over us.
So there it is.
Looks like looks marbleized.
Pretty much. Well, at least a little bit. Dead Punk Gage is saying definitely plays like the original Suicide Squad in tone and feel, and yeah, pretty much.
I'm getting Ghostbusters 2016 vibes from this.
Yeah, I get Is this supposed to be funny? I'm asking myself the same thing. Black Superwoman. I get that there's elements of dark humor to Suicide Squad. There's going to be elements of dark humor, but I'm watching this trailer, and there are two things that I did like. At least in terms of King Shark, and that is he eats people, so they're actually not going to be shy of that. So good. And two, I liked Idris Elba as Bloodsport. I think, basically he's at least not phoning it in with this movie. At least not phoning it in, and it comes out, and his acting, at least in the scenes that I saw, do come across as natural, like natural delivery. But the rest of it,
You know what it looked like?
yes,
It looked like a sitcom.
Kind
The lines, and you were kind of expecting a laughing track, right?
yeah. Soul Assassin said, looks interesting. King Shark going to be the next Baby Yoda and Groot. Oh my god. Baby King Shark. An R-rated Guardians movie. Pretty much, it kind of feels like that. It says, got potential, but I'm still not watching. I haven't decided yet if I'm going... I'm going to give it a chance. But I wouldn't chalk this up as like an anticipated movie for me necessarily. Hold on. He is King Shark's voice. Sylvester Stallone voices King Shark in this movie, and they dumbed him down. Think about that, in a way. Mon says, do you like me some Joel Kinnaman? He's also another one that at least is not phoning it in with his character. So there's that. But that's the trailer. And I'm like, with Black Superwoman, I like deadpan humor too, but deadpan humor works with good timing. And it doesn't seem like they know when to end a joke in these movies. That's a problem a lot of these so-called comedies I'm seeing nowadays have, and that is they run a joke to death to a point where I'm like, okay, I get it, move on. Like I've heard of running gags, but not when you shoot the horse and then beat it afterwards. It doesn't work. I hope it doesn't suck. Riker says Elba needs to win. He looks like he's going to be a standout in this film, based on what I'm seeing. But there it is. Is it bad that Ratcatcher impressed me more than the Peacemaker, even though Peacemaker is getting the TV spinoff? Yeah. Peacemaker or John Cena. What am I calling? Joel Kinnaman, John Cena. John Cena. He's not a standout.
He can't act.
He can't really. In a way, yes, I agree with you. He can't really act, but there are times where he can carry at least the performance with his performance. A movie like the movie Blockers. He's the parents in that movie were funnier than the kids, and he played one of the parents.
Yeah.
So yeah, John Cena is playing.
I guess he was okay in the Bumblebee movie.
Yeah, so like there are times when like he can be decent. I'm not saying like necessarily good, but decent. And in this movie, I'm like, really, he's the character you chose to give a spinoff to, and not maybe Bloodsport. And I mean, I know Idris Elba is a bigger name than John Cena, but at the same time, I'm like, really? I'm like, that's the one you picked? Okay. But there's a trailer. I watched it on Lyndon's Friday morning stream for me, early morning stream for him. So, or late night, early morning stream for him, I should say. And second time watching it, I'm still not that impressed. But I'm going to give it a chance. I'm waiting for another trailer to gauge. I'm glad they did not show a lot of the quote-unquote kaiju in the film. Anybody who's been following the movie knows who that is. But at the same time, normies are not going to. And I feel like if they show too much of that character, it's going to be like showing Doomsday in the BBS trailer. Just take away from the reveal. So hopefully that's all they show. Well, I gotta look this up real fast. I can't remember what character he's playing.
Doomsday looked like a Ninja Turtle on steroids without the mask in that movie.
Have you seen the original artwork for that? Doomsday?
Probably not.
I'd have to try to find it. But the original artwork looked a hell of a lot better than what we got in. Let me find his name. Oh, come on, where is he? Thinker. He's playing Thinker. That's his character's name. That's listed on IMDb. So, let's put it this way. He's probably most likely not interested in it. I'm just saying that, looking at the characters in that trailer and comparing, at least, just if, for example, Idris Elba's Bloodsport to John Cena's Peacemaker, who would you be more interested in watching a TV spinoff series about? Yeah, I'm like, nothing is standing out to me about Peacemaker, and he's I don't know. It's kind of like giving Cassian Andor his spinoff series, and he was probably one of the most forgettable characters in Rogue One to me. He could have been interesting. Especially with his relationship with K2SO. But I was more interested in Donnie Yen's character and his I can't remember what the actor's name for who plays Baze Malbus or whatever his name is. But those two characters, I was more interested in those. And them than Cassian Andor. And he's supposed to be this rebel and intel officer / spy. So I don't know. So, yep, that's who it is. Hopefully they don't show too much of it. Hopefully they don't show too much of that. And a $20 super sticker from Riker. Thank you so much. It is hold on, let me see. It is a fist bump of a pair saying, thanks for being you. Thank you so much, Riker. Very much appreciate the super sticker. And, hold on. This is the only other I'll do the this one again.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me.
I had to find another thank you clip because this is the only other thing that I could play that would be even close to a thank you.
How?
That's it. I gotta get more clips. So there it is. And that's the trailer. It came off as Guardians humor, which can work in a rated R setting, but only if the jokes land, and the jokes to me did not land. Really did not land, though. The back and forth did not land. I know they're not exactly going to be buddies as a group, but at the same time, it's felt forced. It still felt forced, the back and forth. So there it is. Lord Vader says, I liked the trailer. It wasn't great, though. One of the main reasons I liked it was for looking at Guardians Light. I really love the Guardians movies, and Gunn said the inspiration is 80s Suicide Squad. So I get the inspiration. I get what he's going with there. I don't know. I'm still not exactly liking the fact that it feels like Guardians, even Guardians Light right now. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk to her when we do D&D together. So, but I will get more clips. Because part of the reason why I have not been able to get new clips is because whenever I try to edit them in QuickTime, it keeps giving me an error. I don't know why it won't complete the operation after I trim the clip down, but I wanted to get a couple for tonight, and it wasn't letting me doing it. It was not letting me do it. So I'm going to have to hit some people up who have editing software who would maybe be able to help me. So Brian Warren says the trailer looks okay. I'm just watching for Harley. It's probably what a majority of people are going to be watching this movie for is Harley. So Probably because she is. I think someone said up here. She's the moneymaker. Yeah, I doubt Harley will die. She is their moneymaker. Yeah, and I'm getting to a point now where I love Harley Quinn as a character, but they are overusing her.
They're using her wrongly.
This is like basically New 52 Harley Quinn. So it's not going to be the Harley Quinn you know from, like, say, for example, the early 90s when she was introduced in the Batman in the Animated Series. So it's really, and in terms of that, it's objective, but I'm not really a fan of New 52 Harley. So I get where you're coming from. She can't really pull off a Brooklyn accent or whatever accent she's trying to pull off. But yeah, it comes like I don't think she can hold it. So yeah, it's like they need to take a step back and actually focus on other characters. But there it is. But let me just share this article. The way it reads. Now, I'm not saying this is a definite, so don't at me. But here is an article I found on CBR.com. And it says, the Suicide Squad's trailer confirms Harley's newest crime and Batman would be proud. With Suicide Squad's first trailer, audiences see more of Harley Quinn, including her new rap sheet. Okay? If this is bad, we'll always have Assault on Arkham. Agreed. Pretty much. Agreed. She was probably the best in the Studio Squad movie. And then she got butchered in Birds of Prey. So I'm saying, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know what happened. But she cannot hold a Brooklyn accent. Idris can hold an accent, but then again, Idris Elba is a much better actor than Margot Robbie. I will say that flat out. He's a much better actor than Margot Robbie. She, for some reason, cannot maintain the accent. Nor does it actually work, because it comes across as like you can actually tell she's trying, versus Elba, where it's just natural. Slade Raider for $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Says time's up for me. Love the stream. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Bye bye. Much love, Jay. Thank you so much for stopping by, Slade Raider. This will be in your history. So if you want to come back and finish up watching what you miss, you should be able to do that even once I unlist it. So yeah, I'm saying they can. Like, the British can do accents in a way better than Margot Robbie is Australian, and I don't know what it is about the fact that like Andrew Lincoln, for example, who played Rick on Walking Dead, British, but played with a Southern accent, and it worked. I don't know what it is about them. They're able to do it. So good night, Russian bot.
You know, they've basically gone to acting school.
Mm-hmm. And I agree, like, not everyone has an ear for accents. So I don't no amount of acting coaches, I think, can help that in that regard. So I don't think she's DC's answer or to Deadpool, because I will give that Marvel's not overusing Deadpool like DC's overusing Harley Quinn, because they're basically banking on her notoriety in the fandom, pretty much. So, but let me get into this article. Like I said, you'll see. I think anybody who's seen Birds of Prey will get this in a way. So the Suicide Squad has debuted its first official trailer, giving fans a better look at several new characters to the DC EU, like King Shark, Bloodsport, and Savant. It also saw the return of established characters like Amanda Waller, Captain Boomerang, and Harley Quinn. Along with getting scenes of her in action and showing off her classic comedy, the trailer shows Harley's new rap sheet. Harley's rap sheet is long, with her introduction to the DCEU being in prison. Some of her past crimes include being an accomplice in Robin's murder, helping the Joker break out of Arkham Asylum, theft, kidnapping, extortion, destruction of property, and more. Along with these crimes, Harley is also convicted of vigilantism, and there's where they're saying that Batman would be proud. Well, I'll give you that, turning into a walking, talking meme, but not exactly an overused walking, talking meme, pretty much. So, vigilantism. A vigilante is someone who works to stop crime when the legal system in place is inadequate at doing so, with many heroes like Batman being vigilantes themselves. Okay, thank you for the breakdown of what a vigilante is. Most people know that. While Harley starts off in the DCEU as a criminal, it's not surprising that she's also become a vigilante, especially after the events of Birds of Prey, which turned into Birds of Prey Harley Quinn, and used to be Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. How I remember that fucking subtitle, I don't know.
Impressive.
Yes. In that film, she emancipates herself from the Joker, planning to make a criminal life for herself. However, along the way, she gets sucked into the world of vigilantes, working alongside Black Canary. That was not Black Canary. Huntress, that was the closest character in that movie to the actual comic character. Renee Montoya, that was not Renee Montoya, to save Short Round's chubby sister and stop the crime boss Black Mask. That was not Black Mask. She even remarks towards the end of the film that Short Round's chubby sister made her want to be a better person, which appears to be the case based off the rap sheets. So it looks like, in a way, it's tying into Birds of Prey. So, yes, she also helped in killing Robin, so I'm sure he wouldn't approve of her, period. Pretty much. Less, compared to Joker, a little bit less so, but yeah. Batman does not take kindly to how I put this. But basically, you don't want to fucking piss Batman off. Pretty much. They want to make her an anti-hero when she's not. Like I said, it's New 52 Harley Quinn, and then New 52 Harley Quinn, she's an anti-hero in a way. Yeah, stop trying to make the villains heroes. Pretty much. That's what they're doing. That's the New 52 take of Harley Quinn, and that's what they're basing this off of. If this were at all the original iteration of Harley Quinn, then she's definitely not an anti-hero. She's definitely maybe at some point she does have little bits here and there of where she has at least some sense come to her and she realizes the situation she's in, but then she goes right back to fawning over and just with her essentially Stockholm syndrome with the Joker. She's just as bad as he is. But they don't want to show that. They don't want to show that because she's a woman. Pretty much. So they go with the current run of Harley Quinn. I never really got into the New 52 stuff, so I'd have to look that up. So like I said, she does have her bad guy moments, but for the most part in the New 52, at least parts of it, she's an anti-hero. She's taken Short Round's chubby sister under her wings as Birds of Prey wraps up, and the two of them have begun their own startup. Earlier in the film, Harley's original business plan was to be a hitwoman, bounty hunter, dog walker, mercenary, finder of lost things, and life coach. That was the intended humor in this movie. Some of these positions, like bounty hunter, can fall under the category of vigilantism depending on how Harley conducts her business. Plus, after the success of bringing down Black Mask, which, again, the one-and-done villain in a comic book movie, Harley and Short Round's chubby sister may further pursue their crime-fighting path for personal benefit, especially since the DCEU's Harley has her own moral code, so she could go after criminals who violate said code or criminals who crossed her in the past. However, she's not really supportive of the Birds of Prey in the end, who she calls dorky little do-gooders, so it's clear whatever form of vigilantism she's pursuing is likely more in line with their chaotic and questionable methods. So there's let's see. I'm not going to go into basically going into again about being a vigilante. Despite the first Suicide Squad, after her breakout, it's unlikely Waller has lessened her sentence. So this Harley becoming a vigilante is not unheard of, with her comic counterpart being more of an anti-hero than a straight-up villain. For instance, she starts her gang of Harleys back in Harley Quinn number 16, written by Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti, New 52, to help clean up Brooklyn through some questionable methods. She's also been an ally to Batman on several occasions. I did read the Joker War storyline, so she did help Batman out there. And her cartoon counterpart has also helped out Batman and Robin, as seen in the animated movie Batman and Harley Quinn, and she helped to bring back the Justice League and stopped Dr. Psycho and Harley Quinn season 2. So it looks like, in a way, like I said, based on this, it looks like it's tying into Birds of Prey. I'm not saying it's going to directly link to Birds of Prey necessarily, but the fact that they're adding vigilantism to her rap sheets, and Birds of Prey just came out not too long ago, and she did become a vigilante, kind of have to put 2 and 2 together. She's as insane as the Joker, yes. But they had to emancipate her in the comics, and they had to show her emancipation in the movies, and I don't exactly have a problem with that necessarily, but at the same time, you have to show that she's just as bad as the Joker, and they're not willing to do that. Hate to say it, even though I like this movie. Yeah, Rob Zombie Halloween started with the sympathetic villain. Yeah, I hated that. When he tried to make Michael Myers sympathetic. Hated it. Let's see. All I know is Snyder Cut Harley made Batman promise to kill Joker slowly. Yes. Pretty much. Short Round's chubby sister. Mara, I think Zack Snyder needs to have a talk with you about sensitivity. Yeah. I missed that lecture. So now women can't be villains. Not in this atmosphere. Not in this atmosphere, because if they're a villain, then that, like, how do I put this double speak for feminists? You can't show a woman being dependent on a male hero, because that is sexist, because it's leaning heavily on how do I put this? Archaic patriarchal mentality. But you can't show her as a villain, because then it's villain has to get defeated, and you can't show a woman being defeated, and you can't
unless it's by another woman.
Unless it's by another woman, but even then it had to be diverse cast. It can't be another white woman, because that's a no-no. So you can't win with these people. You can't win with these people. And there would have been a way with the Birds of Prey movie to show both badass female heroes and badass female villains, because Harley Quinn is not a member of the Birds of Prey. Never was at all. She was, however, a member of the Gotham Sirens, which included her, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy. Birds of Prey had Barbara Gordon, Huntress, Black Canary, the actual Dinah Lance, not what we saw in that Abomination that came out last year. Was it last year? I don't know. I guess so. It's been blurring together. Renee Montoya. It also had a points, if you wanted diversity, Vixen, and Katana was even a member of the Birds of Prey for a bit. And plenty others. But you could have had female heroes and villains, and what could have been a badass film, but no. They had to bring in Black Mask, turn him into I don't even know what the hell to call that. That was not Black Mask. Black Mask does not throw pillows and throw tantrums. Yeah, all I heard is patriarchal, blah, 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 pretty much. Yeah. But even then they'd find something to complain about, because you remember when the Friday the 13th movie was announced? Like the reboot in a way?
Yeah, it was going to be a bunch of women.
Yes. And I wrote an article about that and saying this cannot work, because you're either going to you root for the women to survive, which means you are basically how do I put this? I'm like blanking on words right now. I don't English good right now.
If you flip it around, it would be a bunch of women ganging up on a disabled kid.
Yeah. So or you root for Jason, and then that makes you sexist.
Yeah.
So
even though Jason doesn't give a damn about the gender, he just kills people. You know, he doesn't.
Yeah.
It basically kills intruders. Gender doesn't matter, and he doesn't give a crap if they're in a bra, right?
And highlighting this comment because the 1 or 2 is inevitably the final girl. The final girl trope stemmed from the slasher films. They usually always was the, I guess, strong female, for one of a better way of putting it, who ultimately survives till the end of the film. And you're getting rid of that in a way. Because the final girl inevitably survived all the other guys who were killed by Jason. Like you see, Black Superwoman says, he was an equal opportunity killer. Like you said, he did not give a damn who he killed.
Yeah.
Not give a damn.
Just if you camp out near where he lives, you're dead. You know.
When Black Mask started making that girl dance and he joined in, I was laughing at that scene because I was just confused, saying Black Mask wouldn't do that. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't throw pillows. He wouldn't throw tantrums. He wouldn't do that. There was only one part, really, that I remember in that entire fucking movie where I at all saw Black Mask. And that was when he had Harley Quinn tied up and he leans in close to her and he says, "Do you know why I'm going to kill you? Because I can." Black Mask is a psychopath. That's something that Black Mask would say. Because I can. That's why Black Mask would kill someone. That's it. And if he failed at all in his mission, he would try again. Plus, Jason listened to a woman, aka his mama. Yes. Pretty much. Unless he pretended to be his mother. That was in the second one. Because Jason saw her as the mother. And then they tried it again in the reboots. Because he kept that one girl alive because she reminded him of his mother. And it was kind of weird.
I kind of like the reboot.
Except for that part, because that's not something that Jason would do, in a way. I don't think.
Yeah,
it wasn't a bad reboot. It was better than Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, but it was that Jason, not the old one anyway. So
I will give you that. And it was better than Nightmare on Elm Street, so.
Oh yeah. Holy crap.
So I will give you that. But there it is. So like I said, I'm not coming out and blatantly saying that this is going to tie into Birds of Prey, but the fact that they're adding vigilantism to her rap sheet resume, it looks to me like, that it's going to be in that continuity timeline of the DCEU. So we'll see. This movie, for all I know, could be good. The trailer could suck ass, but the movie itself could be good. I don't know. I'm going to give it a chance when it comes out. I don't necessarily know if I'll see it in theaters because, like I said, I'm not really wild about the trailer. And I have HBO Max. So, but we'll see. We'll see. Under the Red Hood has the best Black Mask. So they're making Harley a ripoff of Batman, but insane, pretty much. Pretty much. So there's that. So are you at all, after watching the trailer, because this is the first time you've seen the trailer, are you at all anticipating this movie?
No. I might watch it if it's on some streaming service at some point, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if it'll come to any streaming service over where you live. I know chances are it'll come out on HBO Max the same day it gets released in theaters, because that's how that's how Warner Bros. Is doing it this year.
We have HBO Max now, so well, I think we have it already, or if it's coming up very soon, okay. I'm not sure, but
well, if you do get it, then I think Warner Brothers through the end of this year's going to release their movies when they release in theaters, release it directly on streaming service as well. So you might be able to watch it through HBO Max.
Yeah.
Because Trade Courtney's saying he's going to stream it on HBO Max. I'll touch on that real fast because we have some time left on the stream. Subhuman, good evening. So there it is. You can't ruin my favorite IPs and expect me to eat it. Pretty much. But I think if you don't have it already, if you think like you will be getting HBO Max there, then just watch it there. I might do that as well. Because I just don't see myself. The only reason I would watch this in theaters would be just to support my local theater. Basically to buy tickets so they at least get the revenue from like half of the ticket sales and whatever money they get through concessions. That's the only reason I would see this in theaters. It wouldn't be because I'm anticipating this movie at all right now. But
yeah, I don't know. It just looks stupid.
I'm going to be bringing up. Let me see if I can. My profile. So I got to find the quote tweet. Where are you? Because I want to show this that was going around. Because I'm going to have to. As we speak. Where are you? Oh, I might not be able to bring it up because he protected his account.
Yeah, the Fallujah guy.
Yeah, hold on. I took screenshots, but I'm going to have to bring up my DMs because I sent them to someone who asked for the screenshots. Okay, so I'm bringing that up, and then I want to find the. I'm not going to go into this article because I don't want to rant again, but I brought out the article that I covered in my latest video. So I'm going to bring up the article first real fast, and then show what this Yahoo tweeted. This right here, maybe not Halloween Kills, I don't know, but definitely I'm going to see Godzilla vs. Kong this week with one of my brothers and sister. So I'm going to be saying that. And Mortal Kombat. I think that's something that needs to be seen on the big screen. Not that because it's going to be good, but because of it's just basically the fight choreography looks insane. So, but share screen. Here is the Kotaku article. This is what made me rant. You don't have to run the exclusive reveal for the War Crime game. Yes, because as I put it down here, where is it? The video focuses on the squad tactics you'll use to break into people's homes, raid homes, because we don't know. I'll have to go into the description of the enemies we face to clear them of enemies. I love how they have enemies in quotes.
Well, they were enemies.
The gameplay. Yeah, the gameplay ends with the player busting into a room where a family of 4 hides in the corner hoping to not get murdered. Fuck you, Kotaku.
I mean, you literally see that in every game, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shooter, people hiding and trying to get away and afraid of you. I mean, it's in almost every shooter game.
Mm-hmm. Howdy DeWitt, I think it's the first time I'm seeing you in chat. Geeks and Gamers has all the hot chicks under their banner now. I'm part of the Geeks and Gamers community, but I'm not officially part of the Geeks and Gamers team. But thank you for thinking I was. That's actually I'll take that as a high compliment. I'm Team Godzilla. I'm Team Godzilla for Godzilla vs. Kong. Yes, fuck Kotaku. So basically, they're reducing. Now, look. I'm gonna preface this with. Don't worry, Howdy. I'm going to preface this with, you don't have to agree necessarily with every decision the policymakers made. Hell, I was military, and I don't even agree with every decision they made. I don't agree with every decision they made, and I was boots on ground most of the time. But to reduce us to nothing more than war criminals in a situation where there was no defined enemy, so to speak. There was no different uniforms they were wearing to easily detect them in a crowd of the local populace. Nothing like that. What they would do, and I say this in my video, is they would fire, if they didn't set up IEDs with timers or anything like that, they would set them up in a way to detonate them with the enemy, the terrorists, watching from a distance and then blending into the local populace. They would fire rockets like pot shots not only onto our base, but into crowds of the citizens. They're citizens, not caring who they killed, as long as it got them on the news to show, to paint the U.S. military as occupiers, and these people are freedom fighters who want the occupiers to leave. Pretty much. I joined the Air Force 2005, so not long after the events of Fallujah. And I survived, especially in Afghanistan, a 170 millimeter rocket attack that, if it had been at all about 25 feet or so towards where I was residing on base, I probably would not be here today. That's what our enemies is like. I told the story in my video. I'm not going to go into details, but I recounting some stories some of the other vets went through, and that is these terrorists strapped a suicide vest to a young boy and forced him to head towards I don't want to say base, but base outpost area. Boy was crying. The terrorists were far enough away that we could not shoot them. They were far enough away that they were out of range. We could see them, but they were using the range and the boy as a shield. And we knew, or I say we, but the veterans knew there that the fact that the terrorists were still there means that the vest was strapped with a remote control device. And the terrorists were waiting for the military, the U.S. military, to go and try to disarm the boy. You saw the Hurt Locker, EOD, disarm. They were waiting for that to happen so they could detonate the device, killing the boy. They didn't care about him, as well as the U.S. troops. The only thing, and I know I'm going to kill people's nights when I say this, but the only thing that we could do was shoot the boy. That's the situations that we faced when our hands were effectively tied behind our hands, and our hands were tied behind our backs, and we could not call in airstrikes anytime. I'm sure that's what would have happened if they would have been able to do that, but we couldn't. And we couldn't get close to the boy because we would have risked other people's lives. And I see people thanking for my service, and I appreciate that in the chat. And yes, the fact that the terrorists were there saying they did not. These are people that don't care about the collateral damage they put people in. Don't care about the collateral damage they put people in. They put weapons in mosques, in hospitals, in schools because they know that we're not going to target them. They know that if they do end up getting not targeted but hit with collateral damage from another missile, and it causes much more in terms of loss. Again, propaganda, and they knew the mainstream media here would spin it so that way we were still the villains, and it's just. There it is. Yes, it's reality of combat, and yes. You mean they weren't concerned with diversity and inclusion? Yeah. So, but you have this situation now with this game. Now, granted, I was not anticipating this game, 6 Days in Fallujah. There are other people that are anticipating this game. I know Apollo Patriot in the chat, for one, is wanting to play this game. I was on the fence about buying it, and Ethereal Dragon, thank you for thanking me for my service. So, but I was on the fence. Maybe not buy the game. Now, I'm thinking about buying it just for spite. I'm thinking about buying it just for spite. Whether or not I play it is irrelevant right now. I just want to add that so that way I basically just to piss them off and make them cry. That's it. Gelford's dog. My dad mentioned them pulling similar tactics when he was a Marine serving in Beirut. Yeah, these are the tactics of the enemy we were facing. And Trey Courtney is kind of like me. It looked like a generic shooter, but I'm getting it now. This is a game that would have gone under the radar, would have literally flown under the radar, if not for the bitching and pissing and moaning from the identity politics driven social narratives that they're throwing around.
I had never even heard of it.
I only heard of it recently because this is a game that's originally was in development around like 2008 2009. But people who complained about it then it was in regards to, this is a little too soon after the events of Fallujah. You might not want to do that out of respect to the families, which I get. I agree with basically for the most part. But now it's the other side complaining about it, and they're complaining about it through the narrative prism that they see things through. Black Superwoman, I get things despite SGW's their tears quench my thirst, pretty much. Pretty much. That's why I began. If you want to see my thoughts on going through this article, you can watch my latest video, shameless plug. So I'm not going to go into that, but that's like what the opening paragraph started with, basically reducing us to nothing more than war criminals who, the local populace had a 50-50 chance of living if we decided whether or not we were going to murder them. And it's just, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. But thanks to you, Stig.
Well, you know what? A few years ago when Battlefield 5 came out, they had these historical missions in the campaign, right? Historical events and shit. Even if they had women with cyborg arms. But they had a mission in Norway, which was the mission. It's a famous mission. Some Norwegian commandos blew up a heavy water plant and kept Hitler from developing nuclear weapons. It probably saved Europe, right? Because Hitler would have had it a year or so before the United States if it wasn't for those commandos. Those woke people at that made Battlefield changed it into having a single mom and her teenage daughter did that mission, and they claimed the game was historical.
Don't you love that?
Yeah, and of course it was a fucking Swede who was the director.
Yeah, but I was telling you earlier, and I'm going to show the screenshots because I had to take screenshots. Luckily, Muck protected his account following this. But when I was talking to you before we started the live stream, like you remember Black Hawk Down when that movie came out. And this is a perfect example of our rules of engagement right here. And that is the scene where you have the Rangers, they're kind of, I'm trying to remember the situation as it was, but they're kind of hunkered down. And you see the populace running towards them, like yelling, screaming, and everything. And this one Ranger sees this woman running towards them, and she's running towards a rifle. And you hear him say, "Don't pick up the gun. Don't pick it up. Don't pick it up. Don't pick it up." Is at that point, she was not a combatant, so he was not going to fight. And that is basically, until you start shooting at us, you're not an enemy combatant, in which case you're safe. So the sentence in the article where it says, like, we come upon a family of 4 hoping to not get murdered. Well, unless they point a gun at you when you're coming into the room, they're not going to get shot. Not going to get shot at all.
Yeah, if you're unarmed, you're not a priority at all.
No. No.
Common sense. And, like I said, it's every time you see, in movies and stuff, when they're, in FBI training or whatever it is, I think you see it in Silence of the Lambs. You have to shoot these targets that are, so some targets are, a guy with a machine gun and another one with a guy holding a hostage, and then there's a woman with a baby. It's like that. You don't shoot at the woman with the baby.
Mm-hmm. And I'll try to bring up this guy's account to see if we can still read his bio. Unless you're Osama bin Laden, you're good, pretty much. I'm a bit new to this channel. Mara is Mara Jade Shadow. Mara Jade. You originally went by Mara Jade, and I changed it to Jade Shadow so people could find me more easily. But yes, that's where that comes from. So basically, this guy, Osama Dorias, who we'll go into his bio in a little bit, but he put out this tweet and thanked Stieg Kenobi for sharing his tweet with me. It says, please take the time to sign this petition to stop making a game that intends to normalize and trivialize the murder of my fellow Iraqis. Chances are, if he lived at all in Iraq, it probably wasn't for long.
Well, but he says
fellow Iraqis.
Yeah, there's a big mistake right there, because you're not supposed to shoot the civilians, I assume. No, and I said until they pick up a gun and aim it at us, the troops, they're not combatants. That's our rules of engagement. They're innocent bystanders at that point, and we do anything in our anything in our power to avoid putting them in the crossfire. Yeah. So, but for some reason, this game is like just bringing out the retardedness in people. Because where were they with the Modern Warfare games? Would this be any better if this were set in the Vietnam War? Actually, in one of the Modern Warfare games, don't you have to play as a terrorist gunning down people at an airport? You play like you're I don't know what I never played that Modern Warfare, but you're undercover. You're with the terrorists, but you're undercover. Yeah. You have to shoot people at an airport. You have the option not to play that part of the game, but most people played it because it's important to the story as a whole. Yeah. And good night, Mark. I just shot everyone because I realize it's just a game. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, it says Modern Warfare 2. Yes, I did not play Modern Warfare 2, but that was a part of the game. Like, where were they with that? And you have Black Ops Cold War now, where they're kind of like playing a little bit of fast and loose with the Cold War history. And where was the bitching and moaning for like some of the elements in that? Yeah, I mean, commies should lose their shit over that. Yeah, so I'm like, we talked about Suicide Squad, the movie, but when I get more news about the Suicide Squad game, I will be covering it in the near future. But that's what we talked about in terms of Suicide Squad. So yeah, but now there's like this game has got people up in arms, and I took another screenshot to show the petition, which is cut off there on the tweet, and that is basically a petition to cancel another game. So let me stop sharing the screen here so I can see if I can bring up this guy's account, and we can see who this guy works for. So let me find the quote tweet I did. Where are you? Here it is. Oh, come on. Okay. Let me share this. I'll show, might show my tweets, but we're going to start wrapping this up short because I had to do it to be on another stream, and it'll be on in 20 minutes, and that is the High Ground on the Geek Blends channel. Here it is. Here's his bio. Lead game designer on Gotham Knights. So another
game designer, a lead game designer, is trying to cancel another game.
Yeah, and people wonder why DC is going to shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
That there is one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, and he used to be a teacher too.
Yeah. Pretty much. Teacher working on Gotham Knights. And let me just stop sharing the screen here. So that's the guy. Yeah, cancel the competition, which wouldn't have been any competition, really, if you think about it, based on what I'm seeing with the trailer. It would have flown under the radar. The people who would have gotten the game were the people who would have been anticipating it. Not a lot of people were, but now you're going to have people buying it out of spite and boosting the sales. Boosting the sales. No, they apparently didn't care about Iraqis killing other Iraqis, because that's what the terrorists were. They were other Iraqis killing their own people.
Didn't care about that. Given that this guy's he doesn't have that many followers, right? For a game developer.
Yeah.
And Twitter is still, not that many people actually use Twitter, as one would think. So this is a small timer on in a small corner of the Twitterverse, basically, and he's talking about a game nobody really heard of. So I don't think it's going to affect sales up or down.
Yeah. Yeah, not only people didn't exactly really hear of, but never really expected the game to be made, because, like I said, it was initially in development about 12 to 13 years ago. Got canceled because of, basically, they thought, well, it's a little too soon after the event, out of decorum, might not want to do it. Okay, and they said, okay, we won't. Now they're bringing it back. Other side is bitching, and they're bitching for stupid reasons. If 5 people cares what Steve is saying, pretty much.
Yeah.
So just real fast, I'll show my quote tweets. Let me just go back. And then we'll start wrapping up this stream, because, like I said, in about 18 minutes, I will be jumping on the high ground on Geekblend's channel.
Which movie are they doing for trivia today?
Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I do not anticipating doing well on, because I did not have a chance to at all watch any of it again this week. I think it's supposed to only cover the first hour and 10 minutes, according to Geekblend. But, like I said, I don't even care if I'm in the top 10. I did not have a chance to watch it. I'll try to remember as much as I can. But that's the trivia for tonight. So here's my quote tweet, and then we'll start wrapping it up. I was planning on purchasing Gotham Knights, but now that one of its lead game designers is just about flat out calling us Iraq campaign vets murderers, I'm thinking my money will be best spent elsewhere. Pretty much. Geek Blend, yes. I will try to find his channel, and I'll post it. I'll try to find a link to the stream, I should say, and I'll post it in the chat. Just give me 1 minute, but yes. Yeah, I do have the high ground. So let me just find that. And that's the quote tweet. You can't see the original tweet. I had to share a screenshot because, the coward, stunning and brave that he is, protected his account.
I'm sure he's going to blame racism after a while.
Oh, probably will. I'm sure he's doing it now. We just can't see it. So, there it is.
Femboy Hooters is trending in the United States. Why?
Oh, thank you, Lethal. This is the link. So if you're all still up, head over there. I'll be jumping on in about 15 minutes. Good on you, Mara. Did the same with Naughty Dog Games after they fired Amy Hennig. Pretty much. Don't you love devs complaining about nothing? I miss the days when games was actually made by cool nerds who actually cared about their audience. Pretty much. Now it's activists masquerading as, pick a career. Game designer, journalists, pick a career. They're activists. They're not what their job bio states. So
what's kind of fun though is 12 or 15 years ago when Mass Effect came out, Fox News threw a fit because there was a 5-second glimpse of a female ass in an optional sex scene in that game.
Yeah.
Now the other, and the other side got upset and bashed Fox and whatever, rightfully so. Now they're removing the Miranda ass scene from Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, they're changing the camera angle so it's
yeah,
not as in
and
your face.
it's flipped.
Yeah.
It's the people who bashed Fox News for throwing a fit 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Are now cheering this censorship basically on. So it's weird how it flips.
So yeah.
Yeah, not allowed to see some lady with a tight pair of pants or whatever.
And she's literally genetically bred, for one of a better way of putting it, to be like the perfect woman.
Yeah.
And even she doesn't even really like it. But that's part of the reason why, based around her character.
Yeah.
And I don't know. People just like to complain half the time.
Yeah, they were pissed off because someone complained about a naked ass for 5 seconds, and now they themselves are complaining about a 5-second clip.
Yeah.
Of an ass wearing pants.
Yes, and if you haven't supported this, Lethal Lightning and his Teespring store has Miranda ass t-shirts. So head over to that link and buy yourself one.
They cure COVID. Buy them.
Probably, I would not like yours. Cause
yeah, I have had I sold a couple of shirts on my Teespring, and 1 out of 4 customers got COVID 2 days later.
Yes.
So stay away from them.
So yes. So support Lethal Lightning here, as well, and also subscribe to his 3 channels: Lethal Lightning, Lethal Live, and Lethal Gaming. Jade Shadow tells you, so you have to obey the Emperor's hand. So there it is. So we are going to start wrapping it up here. So like in about 10 minutes, I had to jump on another stream. So I want to thank Stieg for stepping in for Steph. I'm hoping I'm going to talk to her a little. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk to her a little bit later and make sure that Georgie is okay. I'm thinking he is. Just it has to be a checkup to make sure everything is okay. Yes, he is Aussie. He is Aussie. So support him there in that regard, because people are racist against Aussies. So I want to thank Stieg for stepping in for Steph. I will be talking to her later. And Stieg, I know you don't like you. I know you turn people away from subbing to your channel, but just I guess pimp yourself out, for one of a better way of putting it. What do you put on your channel and where people can find you?
Oh yeah, there's like a tiny channel. I only made it because of peer pressure, because my account had like 120 subs after a while, so I figured I should put something on. So there's like old commercials, humorous stuff, that's not PC, and then there's some nostalgia stuff, and those stupid top 5 lists. But
I made one. I mean, I made it into one, I should say.
Well, I didn't mention your name.
I know, but I'm saying I made it into one. So kind of an honor. Kind of wanted to slap you for the wording.
Well, I was on a roll. But other than that, I'm on OG Star Wars channel every Thursday, talking about old school Star Wars, George Lucas era Star Wars, which is the real Star Wars. All who deny that are my foes. And then on Mondays, I'm on Sporking's channel, talking about the Game of Thrones books, which we hopefully someday might get a 6th entry to.
Well, we'll see. George R. R. Martin's not getting any younger.
No, he's not getting any
fatter, but not younger. I think my dad in a way knows him, because he had to talk to George R. R. Martin about something one of his clients was working on. I think he also. I'm not saying that when I say that he talked to, I'm not saying that necessarily he's friends with, but I think he also had to talk. he did talk to Billy Zane at one point, years ago, again related to what my dad does for a living, and that is like working with the modeling industry, model airplane industry, and he was had to, I don't know, maybe not with Billy Zane, but he had to like kind of give his own little expertise on certain aircraft for one of Billy Zane's movies. I can't remember which one it was. And also Peter Jackson. So, because Peter Jackson is like a model builder. And so there it is. I heard Billy Zane's a cool guy too. But I can't remember.
Right.
Was it Solo? No, not Solo as in, the Star Wars man. I'm talking about years ago.
I actually did bodybuilding yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the graveyard, so I dug up a corpse and took some pieces, and I built a little model out of the Eiffel Tower with the parts. So that counts as bodybuilding. Anyway, carry on.
Touche. It wasn't those shoots. I'll have to look it up. And like on another stream remind me. But it wasn't those. I don't think. But thank you again, Stieg, for stepping in for Steph. She should be back next week, even though it's Easter weekend. We will be doing it again, 10 p.m. Eastern normal time. So look for that. And then the following week is my birthday. So it would be a combination of the Talk Nerdy to Us and like a birthday celebration stream. So basically tune in for that. I don't know if I'll have other guests on or not, or I'll just do like a normal stream. But I'll be doing a celebration.
What age will you be?
Not saying. I will say this. You claimed you had marked on your calendar with the year I turned 40, and the fact that you have to answer tells me you did not mark it on your calendar. So I'm not telling you.
I don't have a calendar.
Well, you said you were going to mark it somewhere. You didn't.
I'm poor. Nobody bought my Teespring shirts. So I can't afford a calendar.
Thank you for that, Howdy DeWitt, and for that.
Lethal is closer.
No, he's not. No, he's not. There it is. I froze a little bit there because my internet just like went in and out. Not quite, but new favorite comment for this evening. But so, like I said, kind of Easter. I don't want to say Easter related stream next week, but it'll be Easter weekend. So we'll still be having a normal stream, and then following week is my birthday. And thank you for wishing me a happy early birthday, Trey. Much appreciated. So on that, God, Lethal.
You got that one.
I'm gonna say goodnight.
Upside down. Oh, sorry.
No. Well, I mean, it works, but it works either way, White.
Exactly.
I'm not saying Lethal. Comic chat just showed up, and we'll be wrapping up. So, if you want to watch the stream after I enlist it, feel free to do so. But I got to jump on another stream in 5 minutes, and I got to let one of the cats out of my room because I did not realize she was under my bed. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, good night. See you over on the Geek Blend stream, and I will catch you all next week. So
take care of me well.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.